Hey everybody, good morning. This is First Warning Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich at NBC Charlotte. Beautiful start to the weekend. We've got very cold temperatures up and down the chain of the Appalachians this morning. We've got temperatures well below the freezing mark from western Maryland, except for Wisp, a little bit of an inversion up there, but down through Snowshoe, Winter Place, all the way down to Cataloochee. Great snowmaking this morning. A little bit of an inversion setting up in a couple locations. You notice temperatures right in here, even though there's snow on the ground, are in the 30s while we've got some teens around there. So a little bit of that inversion where it's colder at the base of the mountain this morning than it is at the top of the mountain, but cold enough that some snowmaking was done last night with grooming. We've got really good conditions. Now this afternoon, temperatures are going to warm up into the upper 30s in many locations across the mountains, and by Sunday will likely be in the low 40s, even as far north as Snowshoe. So a mild weekend. But here's the good news. We've got some really cold air on the way. Let's start with the cold air first. If you look at the map, this is Saturday. You can see the temperatures going into the afternoons are pretty mild. But watch what's happening over the Midwest. You see that cold air surging south? This is the coldest air of the season by far that's heading into the southeast. You see those blues showing up? That's below zero temperatures. And so by Tuesday, we've got temperatures in the mountains up and down the Appalachian chain in the teens and single digits. So very frigid temperatures. Great week for snowmakers, though. They're going to be able to make snow 24/7 right from Monday night through the end of the week. And then by the end of the week, another surge of cold air comes down. And as you see Thursday, Friday, here we'll go into Friday. You see it tries to warm up briefly ahead of the next surge, but then here comes the next one. You see it on Friday coming into the middle of the country and then moving into the southeast. So we might have one day where the snowmakers get a break, Friday night to Saturday, but then the cold air reestablishes itself by next weekend. And if you look right here, this is Saturday night into Sunday morning. This is the coldest air of the season that we have seen. You see the blues here, those are single digits, and if you look down in the Smokies, that little kind of area of white, I'll move that, that's below zero reading. So by far the coldest temperatures we've seen so far. Here's the other good news. Snow is on the way with that secondary Arctic front. This is the snow forecast every 6 hours starting this weekend. You notice not a lot of snow expected. But as we go into Monday and Tuesday, we could see a little bit of snow with the first Arctic front up into the Virginias and Maryland. But then it just stays cold. And then by the weekend, here comes the next Arctic front. And this one could be a pretty good storm. You can see the snow that really piles up because this is going to have some moisture with it as in and of itself. But we should see a pretty decent northwest flow event as cold air blows over these Great Lakes, which are still open in some locations because it's been such a mild winter. So if you look real carefully, we could see a pretty decent, I would say a pretty decent shot of seeing some very, very mild, cold temperatures, excuse me, and some decent snow. I'm going to zoom in, and you can see right in here, you see these yellows and kind of light blues. That's about 4 to 6 inches of snow that could fall as we go into the weekend. You look over the corresponding legend here, right in there. So about 4 to 6 inches by the upcoming weekend. So really good news for skiers in the southeast. Should be a beautiful Martin Luther King weekend holiday. Great snow because of the foot plus snow we saw in North Carolina. Not as much up in the Virginias, but trust me, with cold air on the way and even some natural snow, we are looking at some of the best conditions of the season coming up. And if you like the cold temperatures, trust me, this cold pattern that I'm seeing here for the next week and a half, this could be locked in well into February. So the winter is really turning around as I expected. So if you thought the first half of the winter was kind of lame, and it was in many locations, but it's really going to turn around in the next couple of weeks. Hope you have a great ski weekend. Of course, I'll start updating the Arctic outbreaks starting on Tuesday. We'll have the latest as we go through the week, and hopefully by President's Day weekend in February, we could be talking about some of the best conditions we've seen in 2 winters in the Southeast. Have a great weekend, and as always, think snow.